Good. I believe his daughter is getting some kind of big award at Scott Payton, so he'll be out for a little bit and he will return. Item number 5 on the agenda then is the CAO's report.
So basically this is an overview of the Town of Paul's general operations as at June 24th. The museum had their third summer student start, which is funded through the Canada Summer Jobs Program. 2 more contract staff started as a result of the funding of the Provincial Heritage Grants Program. The museum also installed a local art show called Welcome to the North. They've installed a World War I and War II plaque commemorating veterans. School and daycare groups have been frequenting the fire department and the museum on tours. The fire department has seen resignations over the past few weeks. Installation of smoke detectors for seniors has started. This was a program where we received smoke detectors, and we started the program offering them first to seniors to have the smoke detectors installed in their homes. Fire department is preparing for rescue practice course and preparing for Canada Day fireworks. 6 new recruits started with the fire department. Pickleball programming is underway. Finalized grant requirements for the 6-week challenge, the Fit Kids and Sports grants. Received a $500 donation from Lights of Columbus for disc golf. This will be coming up later in our meeting, picking locations. This is something quite exciting for the community and recreation. KRC is working on advertising opportunities for recreation facilities. This kind of was spearheaded as a result of the Paw Slow Pitch, creating some signage for our ball diamonds in preparation of this weekend's provincials. So this is giving another opportunity to sell signage on some of our recreation facility walls, boards, whatever. Wellness Center is preparing for the Strongman competition for Canada Day. I don't know if people have been reading a little bit about that, but it's starting to get people geared up. Wellness Wars is now completed. The winners of the competition actually donated their money back to the Wellness Center Equipment Reserve Fund. This was an excellent opportunity. They picked some equipment that they really liked and felt that we could make use of in the facility, so they donated all that money back. 76 clients are currently registered for personal training. That is an extremely high amount for us at the Wellness Center. 50 people have also signed up for Bikini Boot Camp. There was such a high demand, they offered 2 classes. 3 summer students have been hired for the maintenance department. Pool inspection has been carried out and we've passed. Baseball fences are now done and there's lots of positive feedback. Park benches are being installed for those who purchase memorial benches. You'll see along the walking path along the river, there's been a lot of benches installed, and these are memorial plaques that are bought by the families. Building bylaws under review, lots of variation in zoning application, as you can see from our committee of the whole meetings and our public hearings. Inquiries for construction is ongoing. It's a busy construction season, a lot of sheds, garages, not as many homes as we'd like, but hopefully we'll see a little more. Ongoing orientation for summer students and work experience students. Each year we have work experience students, and this year I think we had about 8 or 10 within our facilities. So this is something that kind of gives kids the opportunity to see what it's like for a day in the life working with the Town of the Paw. We have done a review of the mock airport exercise out at the airport. This will be taking place in the fall. Audit prep is near completion. Our 2015 audit is almost done as it is internally. We're just going to have to now wait for the auditor to do their part. Tax payments are starting to trickle in right now. Like I said, we were a little earlier in getting our taxes out this year, so we're receiving monies a little earlier than normal. LaRose tender has now closed. The street sweeping program is underway. We're getting a lot of compliments on that program. However, there's still a lot of really bad spots when you look over on Fisher and I think 3rd by the museum. It's creating a lot of dust because of the trucks coming in off the gravel roads. Maintenance, recreation, and engineering are working on the outdoor rink. This is something that is progressing very well. We're a little far ahead of schedule than we had initially anticipated. We're working with Hydro and an engineering firm as it relates to the feasibility study for geothermal or any kind of money savings or cost savings we could have through the Hydro programming. We've had 2 water breaks on Halker on Grace Lake Road. There's a survey that's going out in the water bill as it relates to reduced speed in school zones. Only 1 applicant for the Hydro Energy Advocate position. It's a little disappointing. It would have been awesome to see a little more. However, we did have a very good applicant who will be interviewing shortly. We've had, again, lots of inquiries on lakefront lots. 'Tis the season, it's summer, it's warm, and people are starting to get a little excited about building. And also just finished preparing a plan of construction for the airport fuel tank repair. And that's
Good.
my report.
Most happy to hear about LaRode's tenders. Item number 6, bylaws. 6.1, rezoning of 416 Bignell Avenue.
I'm going to support for this one.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Who's got it?
Okay, who has that one? Maybe Andrew has it?
6.1.
6.1? Okay.
Whereas Ron Chief, registered owner of 416 Bignell Avenue, has submitted a rezoning application to rezone the above-mentioned property from residential single-family to residential two-family in order to construct a duplex. Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw number 4553, being the bylaw of the Town of the Paw, to amend Town of the Paw bylaw number 4121, be read a first time.
Any,
Can you tell me who the seconder was, sorry?
Margaret, okay, sorry. Any questions or concerns on this? I have one. This is an individual who's applying for, and so I can't help but notice there's a for sale sign in the lot. Does that interfere with this at all?
No, a lot of the
Okay.
times what they'll do is they'll rezone it, that's part of the subject
Okay.
for the for sale.
All right.
Or they may have just chose to rezone it right now in hopes of getting a different purchaser for the property.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, got nothing. 0. Okay, 6.11. Pardon me, my mistake. 6.2, business license bylaw.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it resolved that bylaw number 4552, being the bylaw of the Town of the Paw, to provide for the licensing and regulation of business and to repeal bylaw number 4513, be read for a first time.
Okay, any discussion on this one?
Well, I know it seems like we just did our business license bylaw, which we did, but this was just to make some modifications for people who, for trade shows and craft shows and that sort of thing, and yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Call the question. All in favor? Okay. All right. Item number 7. 7.2.1, letter of understanding for part-time employees.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Zelinski, whereas further clarity is required in the collective agreement regarding part-time employees, and whereas discussion between the union and the town has occurred and an agreement has been reached. Therefore, be it resolved that Council authorize the Mayor and the Assistant Chief Administrative Officer to sign a letter of understanding with the Canadian Union of Public Employees, Local 745, in regards to part-time employees, which will be included in the current collective agreement.
Okay, pretty straightforward. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Okay. Uh, 7.3.1, Town of Snow Lake.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Zelinski, whereas the Town of Snow Lake has requested that the Town of the Paw act as a host community in the event of an emergency evacuation. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of the Paw agrees to act as a host community for the Town of Snow Lake.
Neighborly. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, call the question. All in favor? Okay, 6-0, it's carried. 7.3.2, travel policy.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Zelinski, whereas the travel policy required updating to reflect if the travel van is already going to a course/seminar and another person chooses to not travel in the travel van and use their own vehicle, they will not be reimbursed for gas, as the town should not be paying for this trip twice. Therefore, be it resolved that Council authorize the amendments to policy SR-906 being the travel policy.
Clear Lake in the van. Any questions on this? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Oh, sorry.
I did have
Councilor?
one.
Yeah.
If the town vehicle is not available and a person doesn't choose to use their own vehicle, what is our solution?
It sounds like they're hitchhiking or taking a bus.
Okay. That's all
I
right.
mean, well,
It's not
if you-
covered, that's all.
No, just that if the town vehicle is not available, then you would be expected to take your own vehicle and be reimbursed accordingly. But if the town vehicle is available and you choose not to use it and take your own vehicle, then you will not be reimbursed. Because the
Right.
town vehicle is available for travel.
But my question was, if there's no vehicle available from the town and the individual doesn't have a vehicle, or theirs isn't available, do we have a solution in our policy how we're going to deal with it?
I would imagine if you don't have
Because
a
there-
vehicle, you'd probably have to take a bus
It's
or an airplane or,
I guess my reaction was when I reread this over the weekend was that it's presumptuous for council to assume people will provide private property for town use at no reimbursement.
I would assume that a lot of people's, I guess, contracts or upon being hired, one of the things I know, like for my job, one of the things was that I needed a license and access to a vehicle and got paid mileage accordingly. Like, I'm not sure if that's something that applies within their contracts when they're hired or.
You would get mileage accordingly. The only place, or I kind of see where you're coming from, Brian, is what he's saying. You can have someone on council that maybe doesn't even have a driver's license. You don't even know that, right?
Yeah, okay.
Or if they're expected to use their own vehicle and say their spouse has it that day. The only other alternative is if we could free up one of the fleet vehicles that aren't being used. That would be another alternative to look at. However, like I know a lot of the times to use, say, Sam or Chris's vehicles, they're specific to their job, so they pretty much have to stay here, right? So I think if that ever came up, we would look at using one of our fleets if possible.
Right. I guess my concern is in part that down the road, we don't run into situations where people choose not to go because a vehicle isn't available and that sort of thing, and we don't have an alternate plan, and you don't have time to deal with it. Okay. Thank you.
although most times, I must say, we have enough notice on most events that we're able to make those decisions well in advance. And if things, you hit a hiccup, right just before, well, things can happen, but, and then we could have a discussion about it, Hey, it cost me $1,000 and I have to go and there was no way around it, then.
The other thing is the policy is quite clear that it has to be pre-approved,
Yes.
which sometimes can be a problem. I'm not sure whether down the road
That's a good point.
it has to be firm, because, and quite honestly, I think there's probably been times in the past where, don't worry about it, because it wasn't pre-approved, and so why put in the bills?
I know.
Um,
I've asked you on occasion if you
And,
can go to Nipawin and represent the town, and, and that happens between council meetings, and away you go.
That's right, so you run into that stuff. So it's just something for us to think about. If we can tweak it better, then maybe we will.
Do you want to send it back for tweaking, or do you want to?
Well, I think it's important that we try and anticipate some things when we draft these, because the worst-case scenario is we run into that problem where we create bylaws or policies and then we can't enforce them because of glitches we missed.
Okay, do you want to make a motion then to table it?
I'll make a motion to table it.
Is there a seconder for that motion?
What I was going to suggest is maybe we could even look at this one, and then in the meantime, like just so that we have something in place, because right now we wouldn't have anything that would reflect this. So we can amend it again. It's a policy. It doesn't require 3 readings. So we could even look at approving this as is and improve it the way, maybe you guys want to take it home and make some suggestions, and then we could just amend it because it would only take 1 more reading.
It's a policy, so it doesn't require 3 readings.
Yeah, that's fine, because if the good things that are in it move forward, the questionable ones, let's tweak them.
Yeah, let's just get it thrown on.
Okay, so we'll drop the table motion then?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, all those in favor? Okay, 6. 7.33, false alarm policy.
Moved by Councilor Ford, second by myself. Whereas the town owns several buildings which are equipped with an alarm system, municipal staff are called to intrusion alarms, sometimes on a weekly basis due to user error. Therefore, be it resolved that Council authorize policy procedure GG 121, being the Town of the Paw false alarm policy, whereby any person who sets off an alarm will be given 1 free service call out per year, and any calls over that will be billed out at $50 per call to the to the person that sets the alarm off.
Okay, any discussion on this? In case anybody's wondering, we get a lot of false alarms, and a lot of them come from the same address. And of course, the fear is that one day that you'll look at your page and say, well, I'm not going to that one. And then that's the big one. So that's why this is happening. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Okay. Cell phone, 7.3.1.
7.3.4.
Oh, pardon me, 7.3.4.
Moved by Councillor Forward, seconded by myself. Whereas the town of the Paw does at times require contacting employees during the workday, and it is not economical for the town to provide cellular devices for all employees. And whereas some employees have agreed to use their personal cellular devices during their workday if their supervisor needs to contact them when they are out of the vehicle. Therefore, be it resolved that Council authorize amendments to Policy SR 932, cell phones, town versus personal policy, being $15 a month for voice requirements, calling and texting, or $25 a month for voice and data requirements, calling, texting, and emails.
Okay, that's pretty self-explanatory. Anybody have any questions about that? Here, no, call the question. All in favor? Okay. All right, 7.3.5, meeting dates.
By Councillor Forward, seconded by myself, resolved that Council authorize the following meeting date changes to the administration from September 12th to September 6th, from September 26th to September 19th.
Sometimes you got to change the dates. Any questions? All those in favor? Opposed, if any? 6. Payroll and accounts, 6.3.6, 7.3.6.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Rock. Be it resolved that Council authorize the following accounts. General checks number 17135 to 17255 in the amount of $1,117,807.96. And pay period number 10 in the amount of $96,391.87. And payroll period number 11 in the amount of $111,020.88.
Any questions? Here none, I'll call the question then. All in favor? All right, 7.3.7, financial report.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rock. Be it resolved that Council authorize the financial statement for the period ending March 31st, 2016 be approved as prepared and presented by Jay Madden, Chief Financial Officer.
Any questions about this? Here none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay. 7.3.8, federal gas tax fund.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rock. Be it resolved that Council accept the Auditor's financial report for the Town of the Paw Federal Gas Tax Fund for the year ending December 31st, 2015, as prepared by Collinsboro HMA LLP.
Any comments? I just want to say that when we were at the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, it was brought up on 3 different occasions that the federal government is looking to work with FCM and change how that fund can be allocated and in lots of good and wonderful ways, which is very restricted right now. All right, any other questions or comments? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay. Uh, 7.4.1, UCN clearing.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Gibb. Resolved that Council authorize the University College of the North to put clearings on town-owned property, being Block 1, Plan 30749, to be used in their Natural Resource Management Technology Program for navigation targets. And be it further resolved that Council authorize the Mayor to sign an agreement to waive liability and to assume responsibility for damage, injury, with the University College of the North with regards to the use of this land.
Okay. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll call the question then. All in favor?
Brian.
Oh, sorry, Brian.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's good that the town does get an opportunity to assist students and work with our local university college in delivering its courses. The fact that we have Bush right nearby is an advantage. Cities don't have that luxury, and it's good that we've shared it with them.
It is indeed. Any other comments? Call the question. All in favor? Okay. 7.6.1, Government of Manitoba Sustainable Development Wildfire Program Headquarters Operations.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Gibb, whereas the Government of Manitoba Sustainable Development Wildfire Program Headquarters Operations has leased property at the airport for a number of years, and whereas the lease agreement has been expired for some time, and the CAO has worked with them to come up with a new lease agreement. Therefore, be it resolved, the Council authorize the Mayor and the Assistant Chief Administrative Officer to sign a land lease agreement with the Government of Manitoba Sustainable Development Wildfire Program Headquarters Operations for a lease of a portion of land comprising an area of 23,400 square feet at the Paul Airport.
Any discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? It is carried. Okay, 7.7, KRC minutes.
I think received for information, right?
Just for information purposes? Okay, we don't want to go through them, all right. Same thing with 7.8 and 7.9. 7.8 being the Paul Regional Library's annual report. 7.9 is the minutes from the Citizens on Patrol program. And 7.10 are the minutes from the Paul Regional Library minutes. Citizens period. This will be your final opportunity. Okay. We'll go into committee reports then. We're okay? Everybody's okay? All right. Councillor Rock, Museum Board.
We meet tomorrow night.
Okay. Councillor Commodore, Chamber.
There wasn't a meeting.
There was no meeting?
No.
Okay. No meeting with the Pawn Area Justice Network, Sustainable Forest. Councillor Rock?
There's been no meeting, no report.
Okay. Community Development Corporation, a meeting was called for, no quorum. Recycling Board, Councillors Ford and Commodore. Councillor Commodore.
Okay, well, we're going to go curbside. Margie has been working very hard on that. I don't have the minutes yet. I don't know exactly when it's going to be starting, but we're going to do, what was that?
July 4th.
July 4th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Monday the 4th.
Andrew usually has all this now, so I'm trying to do the memory thing. But it's a go. People have wanted it. We're going to get rid of those trailers because somebody likes to burn them up. And we're very positive about it. And the recyclables will be put in clear plastic bags. There'll be a list of rules and regulations, what people will have to follow. And if they don't pick it up, it'll be bluntly because it's not recyclable or they're not in clear plastic bags. So, but there'll be lots of information going out. They plan to go talk to Mark on the radio station, and everybody will know when and how it's going to go. And they're going to go by the garbage cycle. So, yeah.
So it seems to be warmly received. Good news, I think. The PA Community Renewal Corporation, Councillor Moore.
They had their AGM on June the 23rd. So we saw a couple of board members that stepped down, but we did get a few new board members, Shelley Hanchuk being one, and Doug Lovestead being another. So that was good. At our board meeting, which followed the AGM, they, just maybe one thing that I should point out is over the 7 years since TPCRC has been incorporated, they've given out around $500,000 to the community through small grant grants and the housing fix-up grants. And then Neighborhoods Alive has a fund that different organizations in the community can apply for bigger projects, and in the past 7 years, they've given about $800,000 to the community in grants for that. And with the grants, at the board meeting, we approved 8 housing fix-up grants to people to do improvements on their house. We had 2 applicants to the small grants fund, and I think that's pretty much it. They're busy right now gearing up, getting ready, planning with KRC and the A Grounds for Canada Day. In case people don't know, there's been some changes to Canada Day, the wheres and the whens. For example, the parade doesn't start until about 1 o'clock. They're going to do the parade raising ceremony and the barbecue and all of that first. So it was news to me, so we just want to make sure people know that don't go line up for the parade at 10 because you won't see it. Yeah, they have street festival going on in the summer, and we probably won't have a board meeting over the summer, so there probably will be nothing really to report until the fall.
Very successful organization. Joint Committee of Council, Councilors Commodore and Rock.
No, there's no meeting, and there will not be a meeting until the fall.
Okay. Kelsey School Division Committee, myself, Councillor Ford, Councillor Zelinski. There's no meeting since our last report.
No meetings.
No. Okay, then we will adjourn this portion of our council meeting, and we'll open up Committee of the Whole. Just give me a moment.